Good morning students. I hope you all are in good health. So students, as you know that the revision is started and we have started the revision from chapter 1, that is transport of food and minerals in plants. So today we will start from the topic that is absorption of water and minerals in plants by root hairs. What are root hairs? We know this is the main root, let us assume, and this main root is further divided into fine branch, that is lateral root. This lateral root again divides into very fine thread-like root hairs, right, which are also known as tertiary root. So how these roots are adapted for the absorption of water and minerals in plants? These root hairs, they are having a semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable membrane means it does not allow all the molecules, except it allows only essential nutrients to pass or to enter inside the cells of the root hairs, right? Then the second point is cell sap has high salt concentration. What is cell sap? It is a solution which is present inside the cells of the root hairs, right? So they are having the higher salt concentration, means concentration of the salt is more in the cell sap of cells of root hair and water is less. So we have studied what is diffusion. Diffusion is the process through which water moves from higher to lower amount, right? Or a substance moves from a region where it is present in higher amount towards a region where it is present in lower amount, that is diffusion. So in the soil the water is more and in the roots the water is less. So water will move from soil towards root hairs and from the root hairs it will flow towards the aerial parts of the plant. Then next point is large surface area. Large surface area of the root hairs also allows absorption of water and minerals in plants by root hairs. Then here are some methods of absorption. The first method is diffusion and second is osmosis, then is ascent of sap, then is active transport. So let us study first one, that is diffusion. What is diffusion? It is also known as passive transport, right? Then in this process there is movement of molecules from higher concentration to a region of lower concentration without using energy. You should know these terms, that is along concentration gradient and against concentration gradient. When these terms are used, when a substance is moving from higher concentration to a region where it is present in less amount, then we will be using the term along concentration gradient. But when a substance will move from a region where it is present in lower concentration towards a region where it is present in higher concentration, then we will be using the term against concentration gradient, right? So in diffusion process, the substances are moving from a region where it is present in higher concentration to the region where it is present in lower concentration, right? So next it is written here that there is no use of energy. 3 points you should remember in the process of diffusion. First one is diffusion is also known as passive transport. Second is movement of molecules is from a region where it is present in high amount towards the region where it is present in low amount. Then the third point you should remember that there is no use of energy, right? No energy is needed in this diffusion process. Let us assume this is a beaker full of water. Here we have added a sugar lump, right? After few seconds what we will observe, this sugar lump dissolve completely inside the water. So we may say that diffusion process has taken place. Next is osmosis. What is osmosis? It is also the movement of substances. But what type of substances? Solvent molecules. What is solvent here? Solvent is the water or any liquid substance, right? Solvent means an water or any other liquid substance that will move from the region where it is present in higher concentration to the region of the lower concentration through semi-permeable membrane. So in this process we have studied, first one is movement of solvent molecules, then second is it is moving from a region that is where it is present in higher amount towards a region where it is present in lower amount. Then the third one is through semi-permeable membrane. In diffusion process we have not studied any semi-permeable membrane, but in osmosis process there is a need of a semi-permeable membrane. Then the ascent of sap we have already studied in the previous video, that it is the upward movement of water, right, through xylem towards the aerial parts of the plant. Then active transport. Active transport here, movement of molecules and ions is against concentration gradient by using energy. See now here, it is against concentration gradient means the substances will be moving from a region where it is present in low amount towards a region where it is present in higher amount. So we may say that it is against concentration gradient, right? And since the substances they are moving from lower towards higher level, there will be utilization of the energy. In active transport there is substances that are moving from region where it is present in low amount towards a region where it is present in higher amount, and it is against concentration gradient. And the third point is there is utilization of the energy. The minerals absorption is through active transport. Minerals in plants are absorbed through which process? That is active transport, right? Minerals move from their lower concentration in soil to higher concentration in the cell sap of root hairs. This means that in the soil the minerals are present in less amount, and in the root hairs the minerals are present in more amount, right? So minerals are moving from a soil towards the cell sap of the root hairs. In the soil the amount of mineral is less, in the cell sap it is more. It is so the movement of mineral or the absorption of mineral is through active transport, that is from a region where it is present in lower amount towards a region where it is present in higher amount. Then is short distance transport. What is short distance transport? Here absorption or movement of substances will be through cell to cell osmosis process, right? So you may observe here there is a soil particles. In the soil we know there is a water will enter the root hair. This is the root hair, right? This region is the root hair, and it will then pass to the outer layer of the plants, that is epidermis, right? Epidermis is the outer layer of the plant cells. Water from soil will enter the root hairs and then towards the epidermis, and from the epidermis it will enter the cortex, right? Then from cortex it will enter the next layer of cells, that is known as endodermis, and finally from endodermis it will enter towards the xylem, and from xylem the water will move towards the aerial parts of the plant. So in cell to cell osmosis the movement of substances is through from soil towards root hair, then towards epidermis, then cortex, and then towards endodermis, and finally towards xylem, and from the xylem it is transported towards the aerial parts of the plant. We have studied this ascent of sap. Ascent of sap is the upward movement of water and minerals through stem up to the leaves. Now here is another term, that is root pressure. So root pressure means there is some pressure in the roots, right? Pressure is generated inside the roots. Now what is the use of this pressure? It helps in the continuous absorption of water, right? It helps plants in continuous absorption of water from the soil. Plant roots, they build up some pressure that is forcing them to move the water upward from the xylem towards the aerial part of the plant, and it provides initial push to the water molecules in the xylem. Then there is a term transpiration. What is transpiration? It is the loss of water vapors from leaves and green herbaceous stems through stomata. We know in the leaves there are very fine pores that are known as stomata. Through them there is some loss of water in the form of water vapors. Right? So that process is known as transpiration. What is transpiration? We know in the leaves there are fine pores that are known as stomata. Through them water is lost in the form of water vapor, and this process is known as transpiration. Now here are some factors which are affecting transpiration. Number one is temperature of air increases transpiration. More is the temperature in the environment, more will be the transpiration process. Then humidity decreases transpiration. Higher humidity in the atmosphere, less will be the transpiration process. Then the third one is wind speed increases transpiration. More is the wind speed, then more will be the transpiration. Light causes stomata to open and increases transpiration. We know in the presence of sunlight, the stomata present on the surface of the leaf, they are opened, and therefore water will be lost through stomata in the form of water vapors, therefore increasing the process, that is transpiration. What is the importance of this process? This process, it is providing a cooling effect to the plant, since water is lost in the form of water vapor. Therefore, it is protecting the plant from the heat of the sun. Next is, it helps in the upward movement of water and minerals also. It helps in building root pressure also. Transpiration process helps in building root pressure also. And it helps in water absorption. We have studied minerals. Minerals are absorbed by plants through active transport. Now what is the use of these minerals? These minerals are needed for the growth and development of plants. The minerals, they are divided into two types, macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients minerals are those which are required by the plant in large quantity, and micronutrient minerals are those which are required by the plant in small quantity. Such as macronutrients are carbon, hydrogen, and micronutrients are iron and boron. So students, this is all for today. Take care everyone.